Welcome back to HMP. My name is Adam, and I am on the way to the theater to check out Heart Eyes, the new horror film. That's all I know. That's all I know going into this thing, is that the name of it is Heart Eyes. On the poster and everything, it kind of looks like a My Bloody Valentine ripoff and stuff like that. So I really don't know. That's what's exciting to me right now, is not knowing what type of movie that I'm going into. And to be frank, it feels like horror movies these days are the only ones kind of trying to go outside the box and, just deliver something a little bit different. So while I don't know anything about Heart Eyes, I hope that that's what it's going to deliver to me, is something a little bit different, because it seems to be the horror genre is the only one that's actually doing that these days. So with that said, let's go check out Heart Eyes. Alrighty, that was Heart Eyes. Surprising. So I knew very little of this movie going in. So glad that I went in knowing absolutely nothing. Alrighty, so Heart Eyes is the new movie directed by Josh Rubin, starring Olivia Holt and Mason Gooding. So the basic premise of Heart Eyes is there is a killer that is going around killing couples on Valentine's Day. Part of the thing that I like about this is that we kind of pick up this killer has gone from, one part of the country to another. So he's already kind of a serial killer. There's already, so to speak, movies been going on that we haven't really known about. But apparently somehow he has ended up in the Seattle area this Valentine's Day weekend here and everything. And Olivia Holt plays a girl who is basically an ad executive and whatnot. She's just recently gone through a breakup. She's watching all of her ex's exploits online with his new girlfriend and everything. She's feeling real salty about it. And then a new guy comes into the office, and of course he's Mr. Suave, handsome guy here and everything. And the best part is that old Mason here is fantastic, because you hate his guts just because he's a pretty boy. He's got that kind of charm on him, and he's obviously like a red herring for things that are going to be happening later. I don't want to go too much into the movie, but these two, aren't they going to happen? Are they mistaken by the killer and everything like that? How can they try to convince him that they're not a couple? Here's my takeaway for this movie for most people, is that this is a fantastic comedy horror, where the horror still plays a plenty good enough part and everything. The gore sequences are great, but the comedy, the lightheartedness of it all, it lives in a world that doesn't actually exist. None of these characters are real people. None of these people react how you would imagine that they would react in real life. You're just going along with the ride and everything. You're looking at all the stupid dialogue, all the dumb reactions and everything, and you're just living with it in this comedy world. And there is a lot of comedy that goes on in this thing. So much so, I was surprised at how much laughter was going on in the theater, sparsely populated as it was. But man, when there were jokes and stuff, people were laughing. But at the exact same time, we've got a lot of great gore and stuff, so you don't feel like you're slighted in that you're going too far comedy or you're going too far gore. You have a nice level here of both. I like this movie because it does feel like, the My Bloody Valentine's movies and stuff like that. We have just this killer who's got this weird sort of thing going around. And it's very much kind of Scooby-Doo mask, who's going to be the person that's under there. And it's interesting enough. There's some clues and things left and whatnot, but ultimately, do you really care about that? No, you're having a lot of fun just saying who done it, and then watching the neat kills and hanging out with these characters who surprisingly you like. I mean, you like the pretty boy here, even though you are kind of made not to like him at the beginning. That is who they designed him to be. And then he kind of wins you over, but then also at the same time too, you start raising another eyebrow going, wait a minute, have I been duped over here yet again? And that is really kind of the fun of this movie, is the ride that's going in there. And I'm not going to spoil anything by saying this, but you also get a bonus movie within this movie, which I think is really great. We get to the point, you get to the end, and we've got a bonus movie going on. It's super, super fun that way. I was really, really shocked. And like I said, going in, I hope that these are the types of things that we see with horror movies, is reaching out, trying new and different and interesting things. This is a rehashing of a lot of different types of horror movies and stuff like that, but it's doing it in a fun and interesting and unique way. And as much as the acting is kind of silly and goofy and stuff at sometimes, there are also very poignant, very kind of heavy moments in this where you're really getting pathos from these characters in this stupid horror movie with a guy that goes around with, you know, what really could be considered a Slipknot mask. You know what I'm saying? Slipknot's going around killing people, and, you know, you're just trying to take it as seriously as you can. Ultimately, though, I think this is a great Valentine's Day horror film and everything, because there is an idea of love and different kind of thoughts, and you can do it in a very pro-love or anti-love kind of Valentine's Day movie and everything, and I think that's a very fun element when you can look at it from either one of those angles and everything. But I think this is great. I think it should go in that kind of pantheon of movies like your My Bloody Valentine, both the original Canadian version and the 3D remake from the early 09s and whatnot. Speaking of the early O's and whatnot, we got Jordana Brewster and Devon Sawa in this movie. Fantastic, dude. Seeing those two, you know, early 2000s horror stalwarts show up and everything. They both look fantastic too. I love some age on their faces. Devon Sawa's like right at that nice age in his 40s and stuff where he's looking real good. Brewster as well. So great to see those two in there. But ultimately, though, this is a very fun movie. I think it's a movie that you can take a date on. You don't going to feel too awful weird about it, but hopefully your date likes a little bit of the old splatter, because there certainly is a decent enough level of that. But it's nice to see an R-rated comedy horror film, and I hope it does well. I hope it can get an audience that I think it actually deserves and stuff like that. But that's it. Hard Eyes gets a pretty good recommendation from me of the two movies that I saw this weekend. Between this and Love Hurts, we'll be reviewing Love Hurts on the podcast this weekend and everything. But between this and Love Hurts, this kicks Love Hurts butt by, you know, miles and miles and everything. It's really great. So check out Heart Eyes. Hopefully it will do you know, decently over the next couple of weeks here and everything, because like all this stuff, it's bound to end up on VOD in like, you know, less than a month here and everything, thus kind of taking away from the specialness of it all. Yeah, I don't know. That is it, everybody. Leave a comment for your mother below, and we'll see you next time.